say, "We've had a long day. Let's head back to the inn." The 5 of you walk back to the inn, where the owner gets all the keys to his lockers, including your brother's. You each grab a key and head to a room. You collapse on the bed for a moment, finally relaxing after a long day. You drift off to sleep.
And have the most bizarre dream ever. You're still at the Koopa residence. The same 2 Koopas in the hallways, the living room, the basement, everything. The difference is that now you're playing baseball with them. You didn't know you could play baseball, but apparently you're really good at it.
Hey, that was a home run!
Wario yells in admiration as you step onto home plate.
Thanks! I've been practicing!
You say with a smile.
I wish I could play.
Moira says sadly.
Baseball's really fun.
The 2 Koopas laugh as Wario gives Moira a high five.
No worries, Moira. We'll get you into the action soon!
Just then, there's a knock at the door.
That's probably Toad or Luigi to see if you won. Come on in,
you say, walking over to the door. You open to find Princess Toadstool? Standing there? Her eyes are red and puffy, and she's carrying 2 pizza boxes.
You're not who I came here to see,
she says quietly. You go to ask who is at the door, but she grabs your hand. Her grip is surprisingly strong.
"I'm not wrong, are you?"
she asks.
No, I guess not.
Then why did you lie to me?
That's when you realize who you're really talking to. Princess Toadstool is the name of the girl you're holding hands with in your dream. In your dream.
You wake up. You snap awake and look around. The room is empty except for you and your brother. "Woo! I don't want to think about what that dream could mean." "Meh, dreams are weird," Luigi replies. You nod and say nothing more. You meet up with everyone. You meet up with the others in the foyer. Everyone is raving about the food, and you're starving. You say, "I could sure go for a pizza right about now."
I'll bet. I'm getting a very strong garlic flavor. Nothing wrong with garlic, but I can only smell it for so long,
Wario says. Everyone agrees, and soon you've ordered a large pizza to be delivered. The man nods and leaves.
Is this better?
Moira asks. "Much," you reply. Soon, Wario is licking the base of the pizza pan. You say, "We're almost ready to take on Koopa, but there's one last item I want to collect. A superstar."
Ah, yes, the superstar. A common item in which to collect. We'll need it to get through Koopa's personal fortress.
"Personal fortress?" you ask. Wario shrugs. You say, "Toad, where can we find the superstar?" Toad smiles.
I'm glad you asked. Head to Delphini Island, past the Goomba village. There, in a secluded part of the island, you'll find the most elusive prize in the Mario games. A superstar.
Never heard of it,
says Moira. You say, "How do we get to Delphini Island?" Wario grins.
I've got the submarine in my room, which can take us to Delphin Island in about 3 minutes.
Sweet, you say. Let's go.
Hold on.
Moira says.
I'm not getting into a rusty tin can with 2 pet spiders.
"1, you reply, "and they're friendly. They just ate half my pizza. They're also really small now, to keep them from falling into the water, so they can't do any real damage." You pet your pet spider. You try to pet your tiny spider, but it bites your finger.
Ow!
You say.
What are you doing?
The spider crawls up your arm and onto your shoulder. It crawls into your ear and bites down on a chunk of flesh. You say, "Alright, maybe you have a point. Spiders don't make good pets." You remove the spider from your ear and drop it onto the ground. It crawls away and hides under a table. You say,
Well, what are we waiting for? Let's head down to Wario's sub.
You, Moira, Wario, and Luigi descend into the water. You sit in the front of the sub, while your companions find places to sit in the area that was once the vessel's passenger cabin. Soon, you're speeding across the sea at tremendous speed. You say,
I hereby dub this vessel the Meatball Sub.
"Hail to the champion!" Luigi yells. Wario looks at the back of the sub.
I was thinking something a little more impressive than hail.
"Fine, what do you want?" Wario thinks for a moment.
I don't know. How about Thunder Slam McThunderfoot?
That's a real mouthful,
Oh, you're going to regret that.
Wario says.
I'm going to remember your unfortunate mistake when you attempt to enter my fortress.
You arrive at Island Delphini. You stand on a tiny island surrounded by the calm sea, Delphini. There is a small pier, upon which sits a large house, Wario's personal abode. You say,
Hey, Wario, isn't that your house?
Wario nods and leads the way towards the house. Before you stands a strange mansion atop the smallest of small islands. The house itself is very odd looking, like some sort of bizarre castle that's been dropped into the middle of the Pacific. You say,
I must say, Wario, it suits your style.
Wario shrugs as you step off the pier. He knocks on the door, chipping an odd sound. Suddenly, the door opens.
Wario!
A young man in a purple robe says in an overly excited voice. Wario suddenly becomes very nervous.
King Samriat? Hello?
He says.
I must say, you look even better in person than in my fantasies.
Wario's face reddens.
Thank you, King Samriat.
You say,
King who?
Wario is confused for a moment.
Oh, you must not have heard. I am King Samriat of Delphini. I don't visit Delphini that often. I had no idea they had a king. Yes. Well, come in, come in. Would you like to see the inside?
Wario steps inside, and you follow. You say,
Gee, your majesty, I thought this was Wario's fortress. Why are you living here? This was once Wario's fortress. Now it is mine.
Samriat shows you around his personal quarters, which are just as bizarre looking as the rest of the house. You say,
How did that happen? Did Wario lose a bet or something? No, I just outbid him. He didn't have any idea I knew of his plans, so he didn't try to stop me.
Samriat laughs at this last comment.
By the gods, that man will do anything! I can't believe he didn't realize I knew! Ah, the joys of royalty!
You're silent. You doubt that you'd have many joys if you were in Samriat's position.
Anyway,
Samriat says,
I was just showing you my quarters. Now I will show you the rest.
Wario's bedroom is just as it was when you left it. The kitchen and bathroom are in almost the same state as when you last saw them. As you follow Samriat, you descend some stairs and descend even farther into the bowels of the island. You follow Samriat through a long, dark passageway. Eventually, you reach a massive iron gate. This is my, quarters, Samriat says, not wanting to say the word armory. You say, right. And what exactly do you keep in your quarters? Relics of my royal predecessors. You don't want to see. I don't? You just dragged me all the way down here. Well then, you must want to see really badly. If you don't, we can just stop here. Samriat pulls out a key and unlocks the gate, which creaks open roughly. He gestures for you to step inside. Just don't touch anything, he says, then steps inside, locking the gate behind him. You step inside the dimly lit room. It's a massive room, with not just weapons and suits of armor, but also bizarre objects like the half-crushed turtle shell that acts as a spike. You say, "Wow, Wario, it's a shame you don't own this place anymore. Otherwise, we could use all of this in our attack on Koopa Castle."
Go away!
A deep voice says from behind a suit of rusty armor in the corner of the room.
Wario, it's me! Wario!
The armor slowly turns to reveal a short, ugly yellow creature with a pointy chin and no eyes. You say, "Holy cannoli! What is that thing?"
That thing is my friend. His name is Cannoli.
He doesn't look very friendly to me.
He isn't, but he's useful.
How did you acquire him?
I found him in the forest.
You say, "Can he help us find the superstar?"
Maybe, but he's very lazy. He only helps if he sees something in it for him.
Alright, I've got 3 questions for him. You ask your first question. Do you know where the superstar is?
No.
Your second question. You say, "Do you know where Goomba Village is?"
Yes.
Your third question. Do you know where Koopa the Quick lives?
Yes.
Correct! Well, that's all the questions I need you to answer. I'll be coming back to see you soon. You say, "Well, the first thing we need to do is head to Goomba Village." Wario doesn't move from his chair.
Goomba Village?
He grunts. You say, "Yeah, we need to pass through there on our way to the superstar. But we need to be careful. The Goombas don't take too kindly to strangers."
I know a guy who sells some of the best whips in the business. We could use some more persuasion.
Do they take credit cards?
No.
What about checks?
No.
You shake your head. Fine. You say, "Take us to this whip salesman." Wario points out the window to a building across the way.
He's in there,
He says,
the green-haired guy.
You go to the building. You reach the door of the building and open it. You walk in to find yourself in a huge room. There's a desk where you see Frank, the green-haired guy, talking with some girl. Both of them look at you. Excuse me? You say, "We'd like to buy some whips." Frank turns to you. "Sure," he smiles. "What kind of whips did you have in mind?" You say, "Something that could scare off a Goomba." Frank grins. "How about a whip made out of..." It's then that the building explodes. The force of the explosion throws you into a table, damaging its interior. You hear screams from the girl behind you, and you try to get up. You say, "What's going on?" A figure stands in the doorway. his face covered by a gas mask.
What's going on?
He asks in a thick Italian accent.
I'm Giorgio.
You say,
Did you just try to kill us?
Giorgio grins.
Oh no,
He says,
I just wanted to talk to you.
To talk to us? Why?
the figure, Giorgio, shrugs.
Just wondering
He replies,
where the superstar hidden on this island is.
What? You reply,
The superstar is hidden somewhere on this island. I'm looking for it.
How do you know there is one?
Just a feeling.
Frank looks at the damage done to his building. He starts laughing.
Well, he says, I guess it was just a question of whether or not this building was going to survive or not. Now it won't.
He walks over to the figure.
What do you want?
He asks, his voice dripping with venom.
I just wanted to talk.
Giorgio says again.
I'll kill you!
Frank says, grabbing a nearby knife.
No, no, no!
Giorgio says.
Let's discuss this.
He puts up his hands.
Look, I didn't come here to start a fight. I just want to talk.
Frank shakes his head.
No!
He says.
There ain't nothing to discuss.
Giorgio frowns.
Fine.
He says.
I'll just kill you then.
He starts to raise his hand, and Frank charges at him. You take this moment to run out of the room. As you leave, you notice a second figure wearing a gas mask. He points a gun at you, and you hear the click of a shot being loaded. You slowly turn around to see a hole in the window of the room you just left. You look back at the figure with the gun, who is now walking towards you.
Oh no!
You run for it. You run for the door, ignoring the shotgun blast that erupts not too far behind you. You reach the door and push it open. The smoke from inside the room blows away, revealing Giorgio standing there with a smoking pistol in his hand. The two masked figures watch as you flee from the destroyed building.
Ah, free will.
Giorgio says with a smile.
It's a beautiful thing.
Gunshots erupt behind you. You don't look back as you run as fast as your legs can carry you. You flee into the forest. At last, the sound dies down, and you stop to catch your breath. You say,
Mother of macaroni! Who were those guys?
Moira shrugs.
I don't know.
She says.
You say, they were looking for the superstar. We need to find it before they do. Let's hurry to Goomba Village.
Moira nods. You and she continue your journey.